Dooby-dooby-doo-ba. Hello and welcome to another episode of Arbitration Studios as we continue our journey across the whole damn thing of Halo Reach. I'm JP Arbiter.
I'm Mrs. Arbiter.
And we fell
Again.
an awfully long time.
Again. I was falling for a half an hour.
Oh, Thor Ragnarok just came out and it is glorious.
It is. It is so glorious.
So anyway,
It doesn't give a shit.
and neither do I, because I fell from orbit. I'm obviously limping, and I need to reunite with the UNSC, armed with nothing but a handgun and a couple of bullets.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'd save on time with hand grenades, but we don't even have those.
Yeah. Let's keep in mind, I went from the mountains to walking here. So already I've had a long, what's probably several days.
No doubt. Ah, New Alexandria?
Actually, if I did the math on those, I would probably know how long it was. Yeah, New Alexandria as opposed to Old Alexandria. I would presume Alexandria, Egypt, but, you know, Alexander the Great had this really bizarre tendency of naming cities after himself, even though there was like 10,000 different Alexandrias.
Yeah, well. Considering how they have Mexico, Missouri, and how many other wacky named cities around. So, you know, I'm not surprised by much of anything anymore.
It would have been cool if it was New Constantinople.
That would have been kind of cool.
Interesting bit of continuity. One round is actually missing from the, I thought one round was missing from the gun. I guess not.
So there isn't a continuity error.
But, well, I wasn't going to say... Actually, I was going to say an interesting bit of continuity because it implies that you got into a firefight on the way here. Yeah. Yeah, we missed the party. So, the short version of this level is that we're in the evacuation of Hoth.
Joy, only not Hoth.
No, instead of a sparsely populated, terrorist cell. A very well-equipped, mind you, terrorist cell, but still a terrorist cell. Instead of that, we are... Ooh, grenades. Things you'd never... I've played this game several hundred times, and I don't remember the grenades. There. So, anyway, boop, boop, boop.
We all have our moments.
But the point is that we're actually in the middle of trying to evacuate a major population center. Where, frankly, everyone who makes it out of the city and off the planet alive is goddamn lucky.
Yeah.
There's no other way to phrase that.
Kilo 26, this is Kilo 40, Covenant Corvettes raining hell on us. Final protective fire 1.
Down one chai and you're already to the second, sweetheart?
Copy Kilo 40. Firing FPF 1 at your...
I said half left.
Fire FPF 1, over.
Ah, so you're just chambering the next one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hold on to your helmets.
No, you don't. You...
I
Oh,
don't-
crap!
Oh.
Oh, we forgot the bell. Bell's on the shelf over there. Mrs. Arbiter is getting the bells, so we owe you one ding.
We have reports of Covenant suicide squads. You gotta be kidding me. That's a negative. Your eyes open, troopers.
Boop.
Quincy.
Still want them as pets. Bless you.
Thank you. Yes, I do.
Kilo 26,
That's what happens when you chug pre-mixed chai.
hell on us. Final protective fire 1.
And it's really different with me when I drink water. Come on.
Firing FPF 1 at your command. Fire FPF 1, over. Firing...
I'd be curious about beer, but you don't drink beer that much.
Hold on to your helmets.
No.
You're a cocktail girl like most women.
Yeah, there's some beers I really like though.
Mostly those Belgian fruit wheat atrocities.
Or a good Belgian plate.
Kilo 40, request FPF sit rep. Negative.
Or if I get the
Corvette
chance,
still coming.
a good alcoholic
Zero,
ginger beer.
Firing FPF 2.
Oh, those are heaven.
Spicy, too.
Oh yeah, spicy but really good. They lack.
Ah, damn it!
Damn, how do you stop that?
They
My
don't
lip-
have a massive. They don't have a bitter aftertaste to them. Goes down
Kilo
smooth.
40. Firing FPF 1 at your command. Fire FPF 1 over. Firing FPF 1.
Of course, I've also discovered I like berry ales too.
Anything with a sobriety crushing alcohol content, I think you
Kilo
like.
40,
No,
It's
sit rep. Negative.
it's not even the alcohol content. Sometimes I prefer lighter stuff usually just because it's
FPF
easier.
2. Shot.
Not that I don't enjoy an occasional wine. Just depends on the meal.
Damn!
Okay, woo!
That thing!
I was worried that my shield was gonna give out before he arrived.
Nope, it didn't.
Yay.
You survived.
By the skin of the teeth.
I'd say by the lacquer in your armor.
I mean, that's the last thing that, or last layer of the armor, isn't it? Is that they apply old-fashioned lacquer because they discovered that it's really good at deflecting Covenant energy blasts.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Come on, let's go!
It really wouldn't. Sometimes old is good.
Hi, here's some beetle poop.
A Spartan? Where the hell did she?
You're gonna use that to defend yourself against Covenant energy weapons. Oh, hey, by the way, the brutes are back. They lack their powered
Move to a
armor. That is not power armor, it is powered armor.
Oh, so they're not in that. They're not hulked out. No. They're missing their Iron Man suits.
And Iron Man suits is the best way to do it, because, I mean, they function like shields. Except that, hey. Hold on. Stab! Hey, you. Yeah, you. Give me your
So-
gun.
So a good alliteration for the
Gotta get in there.
for the majority of the
Whoa!
brutes is the Hulkbuster armor.
No.
I'm kidding.
That's just like... No, that doesn't apply at all. Because remember, the Hulkbuster armor is power armor with your power armor, so you can power armor while you power armor.
Power armor a la power armor. Got it. With a side of power armor.
That is... Well, alright. We're going too far down that rabbit hole. I am ejecting while the ejecting is good. Oh, hey, let's shoot some aliens.
Well, fancies! His helmet went flying up.
Oh, it's about the only way you can kill them is shoot their head enough that their helmet flies off and then turn their brains into pate.
I'm not sure that would make a very good pate.
Point is that make it meat pudding.
Okay.
Alright, that's what pate is anyway. It's meat pudding.
Liver paste.
And liver is a type of meat. Hence, meat pudding. Change my mind.
What the hell's taking this thing so long? We're evacuating a group of civilians on the floor below you. As soon as they reach
Some
the
could say
cargo
mincemeat is, but I'm not even sure what the content of that is. To be honest.
Stay sharp.
Ground,
To hold this
ground pork, dates, onions, beets.
Watch your flanks.
I didn't know dates were in there.
Well, there's some fruit in there.
They include
I'm-
beets in that? That's yum. That sounds yummy.
I think it's dates. I don't know. British food is weird.
And the Americanized versions are even weirder. The atrocity we call fish and chips.
I'm sorry, but fish sticks and lays is not fish and chips.
I'm talking about like beer batter that they do at restaurants and stuff.
Oh, yeah, beer battering is close.
Yeah. Closest we're gonna get.
But yeah, there's some podunk diner somewhere for whom fish and chips is, like I said, fish sticks and lays.
Oh yeah.
And that's just that. That
it's
is
like it's like the places that do queso with American cheese.
the bread maker's ready.
Sorry, I'm making banana bread.
Okay.
Trying a new recipe for it. It should work better than the last one. Only because it's the substitution method instead of trying to do something brand new. Anyway, moving on.
We haven't talked about this level at all yet. It is truly story time with James's Jen.
Yep.
But I mean, the level speaks for itself. Just how it goes from one location to the next throughout a city.
There need to be elevator music.
Other side of the hall there, Lieutenant. Right to triage.
I think there is, but I think it's drowned out by the sound of, well, war.
Oh, sad. Elevator music.
Shotgun.
Anyway. Fuck. Shotgun slap.
Alright.
Yeah, it's an old gag from Red vs. Blue, but goddamn it, it's still pretty
And
pretty funny.
we've done it so many times.
I know, but it's like G.I. Joe.
Welcome to the Bullfrogs. The more the merrier.
Knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
See? It's exactly what it is.
Get a wing to the evac birds can land. Try and keep
Hey.
up, Spartan.
When Dennis Quaid said knowing was half the battle, I and 200 other people in a movie theater all sang that.
It's a shame that the movies were so kind of crappy, really.
Yeah, but
They needed to be campier. They
Okay.
needed to not give a fuck.
and the second one was certainly that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you have the trouble of writers being too serious.
Well, and in the case of the first G.I. Joe movie, the screenwriter flagrantly and by his own admission put in elements for a screenplay for a original superhero movie that he wanted to do.
Oh, he was trying to make the promo for his own shit.
No, I wasn't trying to make it a promo for his own shit. It was just that the script or the treatment that he wrote for it wasn't optioned.
So they didn't.
So he had this idea that he wanted to use, and he couldn't do it with an original screenplay. So he stuck it in to G.I. Joe, and that's how the Accelerator suit was born.
Yeah.
Now, I'm one of those people that will argue that the Accelerator suit in the G.I. Joe movie, even though, no, it had nothing to do with the old cartoons or toys.
It was still kind of cool.
Well, not only was it kind of cool, but it's something that would have appeared.
It actually fit the idea of G.I. Joe.
Well, first off, there was the Cobra character that basically wore power armor that was loaded up. Oop. I got blindsided there. That was loaded down with missiles. He had like 2 on his back and 1 on each thigh and 1 on each wrist.
Yeah.
And it was glorious. And he was like my favorite Cobra, even though he was a lunatic. Voiced by Gary Chalk, too, who also voiced Optimus Primal and played the Russian general in the Stargate movies. Or not Stargate movies, but Stargate SG-1. You know the one I'm talking about, the Russian guy who kept showing up? So, Stargate SG-1 would be really interesting in the age of Putin.
No. Please, no. We don't need, and I haven't even seen the newest Star Trek, the Star Trek Discovery.
Well, and
but we don't need any more Stargates that are just gonna miss the mark.
Well, the Stargate Origins web series thing is available.
Yeah, but there's a lot that are. The trouble is that sometimes sequels just miss the mark because they don't have the quality of the kind of magic quality that the original had. And it's just the problem with sequels. It has nothing to do with how things are written. Sometimes you've seen it once and suddenly that spark is gone.
I'm not sure I agree with that. A wise man once told me you can make a movie out of anything, including recycled ideas.
Well, there isn't really, when it comes to storytelling, there hasn't been an original idea in a very long time. Because every story is a rehashing of a previous story.
And 90% of them are from the Bible.
Or from mythology, and stories told over and over again.
Well,
with different cultural influences.
Well, let's remember,
Entrance is on the other side.
the Bible is mythology.
I know.
It is the tales of David and Solomon and Jesus are no different than the tales of... Whoop! Shit! Shot one of my own dudes. Solomon and Jesus and Hercules and all that.
Mm-hmm. Greek gods, Roman gods, take it.
Or the heroes that they chose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only difference is that with the Abrahamic mythology, it's one god, and that makes it kind of boring.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at it this way. Odysseus. You have components of the Adam and Eve story in there with the temptations by sirens and Calypso and other goddesses.
And really, when you boil it down, isn't the story of the Exodus the same thing as the story of the Odyssey?
Pretty much. The base elements are right there. Like I said, it just changes based upon culture.
Oh shit, don't want to do that yet. I'm saving those.
Which brings me to an interesting question.
Huh.
At what point in science fiction history, or in written history for science fiction, were bug-like creatures always the ones that would steal technology? Because I have seen a lot of examples, including one from a kid show.
Yeah, and we see that also right now with Destiny 2, or with Destiny and Destiny 2 with what's that race called? The Fallen?
The Fallen.
Who are insect-like, and they are raiders, essentially.
I just don't get where that particular aspect comes from.
It boils down to a couple of key elements. The first big one is that another trait that is shared by insect-like alien species is that they tend to be short-lived. So, technology that can either expand their natural lifespan or benefit their species rapidly is highly, highly prized, and it is better to obtain and understand than develop, because literally any technological development for an insectoid species would be multi-generational.
I can see that.
Just to get some of the basic stuffs going on. I mean,
Whole adaptation of fruit flies.
well, I mean, that's when you talk about the natural thing, but
I know.
fruit flies going to space. You know, we managed to get into space in a little over one generation.
We haven't been back in, what, 2 generations now?
No, we haven't been back to the moon in 2 generations.
Yeah.
We've never stopped going to space, strictly speaking.
Yeah, we just haven't gone to. It hasn't been quite in the same manner. And half the battle is the technology to get there in the first place. We don't exactly have this unmanned spacecraft or spacesuits and things like that.
Anyway, the other side of it is back to your original question of insects as a scavenger species, is that generally, and this is right now actual theory about what alien life would look like, but if a sapient species was an insect in nature, it would have to inherently come from a barren world, a world that is incredibly scarce with natural resources, to the point where achieving space flight.
We'll hold this location.
That's something funny?
Get on that falcon. Make sure those transports make it out in one piece.
Civilian was stuck behind a barrier.
Oh, I missed that. Because I was... So... And so, first off, literally anything you can...
You've all got orders to evacuate. Yes, some of us just don't
Cute.
like leaving a job unfinished.
Anything that you can find that can serve for your survival is valuable, and nothing, no matter how insignificant, would be wasted. And that would extend to, again, if such a species was able to achieve spaceflight, whether naturally or by being uplifted somehow. The Hive in the Halo games didn't achieve spaceflight naturally, they were uplifted by the Covenant, which made them fairly unique. But once they joined the Covenant, their affinity for technology grew by was exponential.
Box actual to UNSC.
Yeah, joining the Covenant was basically the best decision that the Swarm ever made.
Civilian transport 6 Echo 2. I need to go now, Sergeant Major.
Hold on.
We got guns.
Dawn, I have multiple commercial craft loaded with civilians. I have got to get them out of the city. I need air support now. As soon as something frees up, you'll be the first to...
I've got 600 soldiers on board, Sergeant Major.
This is a great sequence right here, because it shows, hey, I'm doing what I can, even though I cannot... I do not have the capacity, and nor does the pilot, to stay put and provide air support. I need to get to a certain location, but...
You're gonna get somewhere, but you can still...
I can still rain down some bullets and help.
Oh my god.
You
where
can still
I
at least
can.
slow them down a little bit. Even if it's only slowing them down, it's still better than nothing. Because sometimes that one could be that one that was about to ram into that transport.
Dispatch.
I mean, consider how often you'll use a grenade just to slow a group down to catch up to them and shoot them down.
Yep.
It's the same concept.
Spartan, Sergeant Major Duval. Awful day so far. Let's keep it from getting any worse, huh? Cubbies all over my missile batteries, and I got
But
5
gone.
across the bay waiting for passage.
Yeah, but this thing...
Gone.
Batteries, then 5
But
Understood?
this helicopter
My ass for too damn long. Give it hell.
flying in the air is basically suicide. So,
When you look at it, looking at the basic rules for like helicopters versus mechs, any aerospace is generally can be generally considered to be suicidal at moments.
well, in the case of
I mean, you have an altitude change, but it's still
well, the thing
interesting.
is, the thing about anything that features mechs or mech suits or battle armor is that they inherently want to portray. We inherently want to portray the mech as the ultimate military ideal because it is an extension of.
Well, that's the way to kill it off.
Yep. Because a mech, when you really think about it, is a massive overextension of the concept of the common infantryman. Because
True.
the mech, in whatever form it takes, is operated typically by one individual. It's human-shaped and is just as ambulatory as a human being is, somehow. So, you know, whether it's superfine actuators or you know, some supplemental means of grasping or locomotion or whatever. So that, and you know, there's while there are stories of heroic actions by tanks or how else can I put this? The pilot of a fighter plane, a single-person plane, is lionized in modern American military history. It's why we got movies like Top Gun and Iron Eagle. Varying qualities may apply there. But really, the crew of a bomber in terms of aircraft is much more potent and much more strategically valuable. And that's, you know, anywhere from a 2 to a 7-man crew. But bombers are inherently boring because they fly slow, they fly relatively straight.
Drop their payload and go.
Drop their payload and go. There is no such thing as a return pass with a bomber.
No.
Because those magazines are empty the first time.
That's the first battery, Lieutenant. Get it armed.
And meanwhile,
First battery is
to bring it back to the idea of the mech as the armored infantrymen, the Ballad of Roger Young. The infantrymen who stormed a machine gun nest armed with a rifle with no ammunition and a couple of hand grenades and turned the tide of a little bit of no man's land, gaining whoever it was the valuable yardage that was needed to move that line after God knows how long.
Sergeant Major, the Cubbies are almost through my door.
And history lionizes those sorts of actions, whether they are futile or not.
And suddenly you have me thinking of that scene from Wonder Woman. Sorry.
It's okay. That's suddenly I was remembering that scene and going, God damn, that was cool. But you know, that scene from Wonder Woman is another perfect example because it was one woman standing against hundreds, maybe thousands simultaneously. So, and
Well,
that
and you get that same idea from Battle of Thermopylae.
Yeah.
300.
yeah. And let's remember, they lost.
Yeah, they lost, but the fact is they were able to.
They stalled.
They stalled them.
They stalled an advance against incalculable odds for what was it, 6 or 7 days.
Yeah. And sometimes 6 or 7 days is all you need to get. I mean, sometimes you advance just to work on either evacuating people or otherwise.
Now let's remember also that in the movie and or comic book of 300, that was a tale told from the perspective of Spartans as a, this is how badass we are and we're gonna fight in the name of our heroes. And we spent this entire level not talking about the game at all. I am impressed.
Are you impressed or embarrassed?
Some of A, some of B.
This is what happens when we get on tangents.
Yep. But yeah, that was Exodus from Halo 3. The last transport is away.
Our trains of thought are weird sometimes.
They really are.
Last transport is away. Alright. We're bringing you to us.
Oh, hey, and we got friends coming to pick us up. Let's pop some smoke and await pickup. Bless you.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you kids later.